much our activity. But now we're finally underway, so 12:25 arrival in Los Angeles. Weather in Los Angeles, not looking too bad right now. Scattered clouds, good visibility.
Testing the volume of the camcorder.
Okay, nice. Sorry.
Testing in the toilet. Testing in the 2D toilet. Testing while I crap.
I go out there and do it.
His words are just awesome.
I'm testing. Do you have anything to say?
It started. Get out here.
Adam's going through his E3 grooming rituals. What do you got going on here?
So, I want to make sure that I have trimmed nails, like nicely upkept toenails. Mm-hmm. The problem is we did not pack a toenail clipper other than this safety first baby toenail clipper, which will be fine for the majority of my toes. But this big toe, this one right here, that's a lot of width.
There's a lot of area to go through there.
I'm guessing this is going to be multiple toenail clipper lengths.
You're gonna have to hack that for a while.
All right, you ready? I don't know how this is gonna. Not sure how this is gonna work out. I'm kind of nervous because I want to maintain a nice, smooth edge. You know, you don't want jaggedy toenails, freshly cut.
So are you going sockless?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm going sock, which is exactly like that's the freshly clipped toenails inside of a sock.
Yeah.
That feeling gives me the heebie-jeebies.
It's so good.
So good?
Freshly clipped sock?
Inside of a sock?
Yeah. They're not catching on anything?
Well, that's just it. You got to make sure you got a nice, clean trim so they don't catch on those cotton threads. So let's see how I do here. Oh man, I got some pretty thick toenails too, not to brag. But
it's looking all right.
I don't know. You gotta give it the thumb test. You run that edge.
Right. Anything catching?
I think we're okay. I think it's gonna be just fine. Welcome to E3 2018. John and I are back in Los Angeles.
Oh my God!
How the fuck did this happen?
They forgot what we did last year and accidentally invited us back. But here we are. Too late to take it back now.
The good news is we are incredibly forgettable.
Yes.
So here we are.
We are here. This is day one. We've got 3 days of coverage, cram-packed. We're going to have impressions.
Did you say cram-packed?
Cram-packed. That's what people say.
That's a thing.
That's a thing. You've never heard cram-packed?
Megadads E3 2018 hashtag cram-packed.
Cram-packed. Put that on your dictionary. So anyway, we're going to have impressions all week long of the latest and greatest games. We're going to have special guests, I believe. What? We've just got loads of stuff for you.
Cool. So enjoy. Here's a guy walking by with a big stick. Our E3 experience started at the Microsoft Theater, where we got to take in the Xbox media briefing live and in person. We arrived early enough and endured a sweltering hot sun so that we were able to have a spectacular seat, only about half a dozen rows back from the stage itself, accompanied by Nick Edwards from the Dadcade. We also found ourselves surrounded by industry media and insiders, including Jeff Kanata from the podcast DLC. He let us snap a photo with him, and John didn't even lose control of his bowels once. Maybe once. We settled into our seats and took in the awesome array of neon green and white lights as a countdown signaled the start of the show. The briefing itself was obviously a juggernaut of awesome debut trailers, incredible announcements, falling leaves, and of course the unveiling of Cyberpunk 2077. The Xbox briefing was the perfect explosive start to E3 2018.
So a funny thing happened on our first day of our second E3. Last year when John and I got here, we were ushered into a theater screening of Spider-Man. This year, we were ushered into a playthrough of Spider-Man, and I have to tell you, holy crap, this game is just as much fun to play as it is to watch, and all the awesome trailers that we've seen. The action is fast and frenetic, and there are so many little touches that I caught playing this game. When you scale the side of an apartment building, you can look into the windows and see the rooms and the people inside. There was a point when I leapt from a rooftop, landed on street level, and there was a crowd of people, and the cheering of the crowd with the swelling of the orchestra music was just like so immersive. This game felt to me like the embodiment of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. The color palette with the constant sun hue, the oranges and the autumn colors, and the music, it felt to me like the Spider-Man that I grew up loving. Spider-Man from PlayStation, top shelf.
We got hands-on with several new Nintendo games during our private playthrough time in the Media Suite. Smash was obviously the highlight of the show, so John and I took a few rounds with it, pretending like we knew what we were doing with that game. Before we moved on to smaller titles such as Starling from Ubisoft, the Toys to Life space shooter, or Overcooked 2. And even a little bit of Mario Tennis. The booth itself was set up as a museum dedicated to the characters featured in Smash Ultimate. There was no giant set like in previous years, and the whole thing felt a little underplayed from our previous experience. All in all, Nintendo seemed to favor function over spectacle, which may be a direct result of trying to figure out the way to navigate those lines in the post-general attendance era of E3.
You meet a lot of celebrities. You never know who you're going to run into wandering the halls. Could you tell me something about your game? You've got a little something on your...
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, you invited everyone you knew. You would see the biggest gift would be from me and the car.
thing that you can always come to expect when you visit E3, when you do the E3 experience, is the lines. You can stand in line for half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. You look at last year, I stood in the line for like 4 hours to play Mario Odyssey, but we have come to the National Video Game Museum exhibit here at E3. It's kind of tucked away, and it's the best line in the entire conference for Millipede. Hello, everybody, or shall I say, what is up?
Yeah, what is up?
The Megadads are here, as promised, with the Nintendo Guru.
Oh my God!
You promised that?
Well, we teased it this morning.
He teased it and then I spoiled it.
I apologize for screwing this up, you guys.
So this has been in the works for quite a while.
Yes.
We've been very hyped to meet you here.
I was told I was not saying nothing. I knew way ahead of time, and I was told, don't say nothing. Just in case it doesn't go through, we don't look like idiots. I was like, it'll happen. Don't worry about it.
It's the crossover of the century.
Guess what? We still look like idiots.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, look at your shirt.
Yeah.
What's wrong with my shirt?
You look like you're bowling in
Yeah.
the tropics.
Yes.
E3 has tons of legacy displays. Companies like Capcom and Bethesda set up small galleries of memorabilia and art that honors the history of their franchises and the characters that their attendees love so much. There's even a separate concept art gallery between the two main halls, where showgoers can get away from the crazy crowds and appreciate some of the art that helps to make the games.
What's up, people? I just got out of a demo of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It was about 30 minutes in length, and it featured what I believe is an early portion of the game where you're traversing through an underground temple in search of an artifact, and the bad guys are on your tail trying to get that same thing. If you've played the previous two Tomb Raider reboots, this is going to be fairly familiar to you as far as gameplay goes. Some nice new additions are specifically in the stealth portions of the game, are the ability to get down and dirty in the mud, cover your body in mud. That helps to conceal you better. There are also some portions of wall which will be covered in foliage, and you can lean up against that for extra cover to help you sneak up on dudes and kill them horribly violently. You make your way through the temple, lots of jumping, lots of climbing. I died a whole bunch, but Laura ends up at this artifact, and this is where the demo got really interesting, is what they're doing story-wise. The bad guys are on your tail. You find this artifact. You don't know if you should retrieve it, if you should take it, but you know they're after it too. So she makes a split-second decision to take it. Unknowing to her, she has just unleashed Armageddon, and you can see it in her face, how troubled she is by what's happened and the guilt by what she's unleashed. So there's definitely a moral back and forth with this game, confliction over, are you doing more good than harm? So I'm really excited where they're going story-wise. Gameplay-wise, like I said, it's familiar, but there are small tweaks, especially to the stealth gameplay, to make it more interesting. I'm very excited about this game. The last two were some of my favorite games of this generation, so I can't wait to spend more time with Lara Croft later this year.
one unmistakable and unavoidable fact of visiting E3 is at the end of the day, you're going to be sore and tired. You do a lot of walking, you do a lot of standing on these hard convention floors, the concrete, so it's going to wreak havoc on your feet or on your knees or on your lower back. No matter what happens, you're going to be sore. So one thing you probably shouldn't do is ride a mechanical llama. So let's go do that.
So Adam,
So John,
you got to play Resident Evil 2, the remake.
unbelievable, so cool, so scary. One of my favorite games of the PlayStation 1 era, totally remastered.
Let's set the stage though. Before you played the game itself, you had quite the encounter getting to your game station.
Oh yeah, so they walk you in the Raccoon Police Department, right? That's the setup. You can't see any of the game stations, so they walk you in the front door, they hand you a flashlight, and they're like, go through this door. It's right through this way. And I said, that's not suspect, that's not weird, let's do that. So you open the door, and you're in a dark hallway, winding corridors, blood splattered all over the walls, with your little flashlight as the only thing to guide you. And I stepped on something. I looked down, and it's a severed arm.
That's horrible.
That's what happens at E3 when you budge the line. They chop your goddamn arm off, and they throw it in the Resident Evil booth. But not only that, so then you're turning corners, and friggin' real-ass zombies start jumping out at you, and people are walking in front of your shots, and it's super rude.
It's like they don't even care or see you.
And it's like a haunted house on the way to play the game, and once you get in the place where you play the game, it's like the offices of Raccoon PD, and you sit down at an officer's desk, and there's blood everywhere, and there's more people walking in front of your shot.
Like zombies, almost.
It's just like you're surrounded. But the game itself is incredibly good. Third-person action adventure.
Just roll with it, man. Just roll with it. Until they trip, it's not a big deal.
It's great to see this franchise. First of all, it's a classic game. We love it. But one of the things that I've not enjoyed about the progression of Resident Evil is it's gone away from being scary. This game is scary again.
Let me ask you, how many times did you poop or pee yourself?
Thrice. More deliberate. The scares are set up better. There's lots of grotesque sequences.
That guy looked at the cord in the camera and still decided, F I'm going through.
There was a point where I got attacked by a zombie, bit me right on the neck, and even after I healed...
Was it that guy?
Wasn't that guy. That would have been really gross. The scenario is the same, but the game is going to play quite different. It's probably my most anticipated game coming out of E3, Resident Evil 2.
Awesome. Let's get the hell out of this hallway.
I feel like I just want to go and shove somebody.
Hot chick.
One of the big departures from previous years of E3 is Microsoft opted to show all of their major games across the street in the same theater they held the media briefing. This made taking in Xbox games more challenging, as you had to leave E3 itself to get there. And with the added security provisions making things more difficult and time-consuming to get through, this was kind of a chore. But it was worth it to experience this guy, who loves his job way more than you love yours.
I don't know what I'm going to do without you.
One month
Melanie,
Game
I
Pass.
need you.
Congratulations.
You got the key.
All right. Good night. It was nice working with you. all that, etc.
All that jazz.
I'm gonna give Morgan a very positive review of your management.
Thank you. I'll see you in an hour.
C4, here's the floor.
You won everything!
You won all the things. 1 month, 3 months, 12 months now. 1 month Game Pass. Woo! All right. Bye. Chokin.
Another E3 has come and gone, John. It's the end. It's all over. There's no more.
I'm tired as crap.
We did it, though.
We did it.
We were allowed back.
We didn't know if we would be.
Which was a surprise.
There was no guarantee after the shenanigans we were up to last time if we would be invited back. But the gods have shined upon us, and we returned, and we conquered.
Did we?
It's debatable.
I'm sore. My body hurts in ways that it hasn't hurt in a long time.
I am sore emotionally. Like my soul is very tired right now.
Yeah?
Yeah. So let's kind of just a very broad overview. Press conferences. Most favorite.
I don't think there's any debate there. Microsoft absolutely kicked the snot out of Sony and Nintendo in respectable fashion. I personally feel like Sony and Nintendo completely underwhelmed. And Microsoft, I feel, was damn near flawless.
Yeah, I mean, they had loads and loads and loads of new games. No, like, megaton bomb announcements per se, but just like constant, steady stream of awesome game, one after another. So yeah, I agree. I think Xbox by far had the best showing, convention or press conference wise.
Let's talk about their showing at the E3 proper, like their booths. How do we feel that the three stacked up in? What are you looking at?
Nothing. I'm just staring off into the distance.
Oh, okay.
Contemplating my answer.
How do you think their booths stacked up against each other?
You know, it's tough because they were all kind of underwhelming in different ways. Xbox was off in the Microsoft Theater, so you kind of had to plan that as a whole separate hike over there. It was very crowded. It was very kind of disorganized. You had to wait a while to even get in the building. We didn't get to play anything there because the queues for the lines were so short. They capped them off so immediately that you would just have to kind of circle. Like last year here, you would just kind of have to circle and hope maybe to get lucky when someone jumps out of a line that you could hop in. I didn't want to wait for that. And then to cap it all off, apparently they just packed up and left today.
That was a shock. So day 3, we came here because we had some appointments to the main LA Convention Center, and our plan was to maybe pop over there and at least get some merchandise out of their store. But no, they just closed up shop. There is no Xbox experience on day 3. So if you wanted to play an Xbox game at E3, it had to be the first 2 days.
Yeah, I was shocked at that. I don't know how you make a decision like that to make this big, huge, got your own building and this big setup and elaborate, and then on the second to 3 days you're like, we're done, we're out of here.
To be fair, they did have a mixer booth here and one Forza station for the thousands of people in attendance. Okay, let's talk about Sony's booth.
Both Sony's and Nintendo's were much more understated than they were last year. There wasn't as many elaborate props. You know, last year they had the Spider-Man, the helicopter hanging, and themed sections for each game. Nintendo was obviously Mario Odyssey. You were in New Donk City. Yeah, so last year it was super elaborate. This year, while they were much more subdued, I think they both learned their lesson and made them more functional because we were able to walk through them without any problem, which was not the case last year.
The only thing that is bizarre about Sony's rework is really Spider-Man was the only traditional exclusive PlayStation game in their whole booth. They had 3 games on the main floor.
4. They had FIFA also.
FIFA doesn't
How could
count.
you forget FIFA?
doesn't count. Nobody cares about FIFA. They had Black Ops.
Yep.
They had Destiny.
Yep.
And they had Spider-Man. Herschel J. Spider-Man.
Herschel J. Spider-Man.
And Black Ops and Destiny are both available at Activision's.
Yeah, I mean, no Ghost of Tsushima on the floor, no Death Stranding, no Dreams,
No Days Gone.
no Days Gone. I
No
mean,
Concrete Genie.
I guess they had a lot of that stuff behind closed doors, but for the public to see and to wait in line for, Spider-Man was it.
Bupkis. And Nintendo, their biggest game, what they spent over half of their direct covering, was only available by reservation, and those closed down before the show even started.
Yeah, I mean, they had Pokemon, and they had Mario Tennis, and they had Fortnite.
Why would anybody wait in a line? Why would you wait in a line, like a 2-hour line, to play Fortnite?
I didn't hear anything you said, but I got the gist of it.
Okay.
So yeah, all of the booths were
The third party is really where it was at, which is in the South Hall behind us.
Yeah.
They were cooking. Capcom had a great booth. Ubisoft was gorgeous.
Ubisoft was huge, huge. It seems way bigger than their booth last month.
Yeah.
So should we talk about
Last year.
last year?
What do you want to talk about, John?
Let's talk about games.
Let's break it down.
Let's talk about games.
Let's talk about
games.
Let's talk about games.
We played a lot of games.
We did. I think we played a lot more this year than we did last year.
Yep.
We were able to get a lot more appointments, so we had to stand in few lines because we were able to, flash our creds and get in to play a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So let's talk about kind of your favorites of E3, whether you played it or whether it was just a trailer that was debuted. What are your three favorite things from E3 2018, Adam?
3 favorite games?
3 favorite games.
Forza is probably my favorite thing that I did not get to play. I think that game looks stellar. I think that is the Xbox game to beat. I think I'm going to spend a lot of time with that game. It looks to be everything that I want out of a racing game. I was really bummed that I didn't get to get hands-on with Forza, but it is what it is. You can't play everything.
Nope.
After that, I would say that I was really excited to get to play Dragon Quest XI. I'm really looking forward to that. Come September, Dragon Quest comes back to the home console, and it's been a long time. The last time I played a Dragon Quest on a home console was on my PlayStation 2, so I'm super jazzed to play this. It looked great. It played great. It gave me the nostalgia feels.
Did it give you the warm and tinglies?
It did. The warms and the tinglies.
Both.
But if I were to pick, should I pick my favorite now, or do you want to?
If you want to narrow it down to one,
I can. I so can. I absolutely can. Resident Evil 2 is my game of show, and it's a friggin' remake. It's not even a new game, but everything about playing Resident Evil 2 blew my mind. It was everything I wanted it to be after that announcement. So, Resident Evil 2 hit every single mark that I wanted it to, ticked every box. I'm so excited.
It's good stuff.
January cannot come soon enough.
It's good stuff. Yeah, I would say Resident Evil 2 is definitely at the top, even though I didn't get to play it. I'm psyched for it. It looks amazing. It looks like a perfect blend of what you remember, but just cranked up to 11. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I did get hands-on with that. Did not disappoint even slightly. It's so hard, Adam. It's so hard. But maybe Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Herschel J. Spider-Man?
Herschel J. Spider-Man. Listen to the podcast, you'll get that joke. That was really, really fun to play. The web slinging is awesome. The combat is fun. The city is gorgeous.
That's your game of the show.
Well, no, I just said I don't know if I can narrow it down.
happens.
It happens. Man,
So that's not your necessarily in order list.
it's not my necessary. If you're gonna put me on the spot right now, and I don't know if I can pick a game I didn't play as my game of the show, so I got to go with what I played. I'll say Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah. You mother. What about trends? Any takeaways? Final thoughts from the show?
It seems to be kind of like in a state of flux, I would say, as the industry kind of reacts to last year's letting gamers in. There's clearly an adjustment here, and they're probably going to adjust again next year.
Yep.
But I felt like we were able to play a heck of a lot more. We saw a heck of a lot more. And I felt like we were more prepared. Like I kind of feel like I know what I'm doing here now.
And it was really, I gotta say, before I forget, one of my favorite parts of the entire show was we met a lot of cool people that we knew from online, internet friends, industry friends. That was awesome.
I got a hug that I was not expecting. You know who you are.
He came in hot. Two things I would take away from this. Number one, Fortnite rules the world.
Really does. Fortnite is everywhere. Fortnite had a huge booth, but not only that, Fortnite was at all of like the third-party accessory booths or the mixer booth or anything that was like video game adjacent had Fortnite on it.
Yeah, it's just a massive presence here. The other thing I would probably say is, even though all you bitches complain about it non-stop, y'all love your loot boxes, because they're selling boxes in there for $40 that say, we don't know what's in there, it's a surprise, and everybody's buying them. Everybody has one. Every background shot, you probably saw 1,000 of them go by. So stop saying you don't like loot boxes, because you do. You love them and you want more of them. Am I lying? Am I lying?
You're clearly not. I mean, it's kind of sad.
It's pathetic.
So yeah, I guess that's it.
I think that's it. That's gonna do it for E3 2018. I know she almost tripped on the cord. That was almost a travesty.
That was almost a lawsuit.
Last year we were like, will we be back? Wink. Right. And then we ended up back again. What do you think? Are we coming back next year? I keep thinking, I don't know. It's a big thing. I don't know if we're coming back. Are we coming back?
I don't know if you're coming back, but I'm actually not leaving. I'm gonna curl up under the Spyro the Dragon banner over there and just hibernate until next time.
Like a bear.
Like a cuddly old bear.
All right. I think that's it.
Well, there's only one thing left to do, John.
What's that?
We're gonna cut now to a montage of John high-fiving as many random strangers as he can.
Let's do it.